Hello again, everyone. This is Andrew Adams with another tutorial lesson involving HTML and CSS. In our last video, we covered how to create like a border box within CSS. Now, I'm going to teach you something different, which there are actually two of them, which can give us more control of certain HTML elements, things like that. Um, one's called class, and the other one is called ID. Let's start with class. Now, if I were to give an example, maybe let's say right here for this paragraph where it says Nintendo has not only displayed some of the most fascinating characters, but also gameplay. Now, you're asking yourself, where does a class fit in? Where does it work? Well, in this case, we want to come over here to one of the HTML elements, and inside it, we're going to type in the word class, and we're going to give it an equal sign, quotations. Now, what goes in these quotations, it can be whatever you want to call it. In this case, let's call it food. Save that. Now, keep in mind, we're in the HTML page. When we set this up, the class, we're going to want to go to the CSS page. And in here, we're not going to create a paragraph selector, which involves the P and the curly brackets. In this case, we're going to use the class, which is going to control that particular paragraph in this case. So we're going to press period, then the class name, food, and now we're going to bring in the curly brackets, which involves an opening, make some space, and another curly bracket that's the opposite side of the other one. Now, we can actually put whatever we want in here. So I could change the color, the size. In this case, just keep it simple. Maybe I want to change the color. Let's change it to, how about black? And we gotta save it always. And we're going to change this. Matter of fact, let's choose a different color. How about, instead of black, let's go with green. And let's see what happens. What do you know? This right here, Nintendo has not only displayed some of the most fascinating characters, but also gameplay. It's turned green. And if I wanted to, I could change it blue as well. Yes. And another thing I could do from our last lesson involving CSS, maybe I could bring in a border. Let's see the padding. Pixels by pixels, and let's not leave the margin out. So you get it. You get the idea. Basically, with class, we can it gives us more control on what we can do to other HTML elements, but we need to include both HTML and CSS, if that makes sense in this case, in order to make this happen. But again, yes, it gives us more control of HTML elements, but the CSS will be pulling the strings, if that makes sense. Save it. Now, we're going to dive into ID. And IDs are similar to classes, but they're different. So what would I show you while I'm at it? So what we can change is, let's try Nintendo consoles. In this case, let's go into the HTML for the H2 heading right here, and let's put in ID equals with the quotation marks, and just like class, we can choose any name. We can come up with any name we want. So maybe fly. Save that. But in this case, with IDs, we're not going to put like a period in fly. We're going to put a hash mark fly, the word fly, yes, a hash mark and the word fly. And then we're going to do the open and closing curly brackets. And let's see, maybe I want to change the color to yellow. Bam. Down here, we just changed the color yellow. But also keep in mind, when it comes to classes and ID, classes will be used like multiple times. ID selector, it's more of, it focuses on like making an element unique, but it wouldn't be used like multiple times as class. Keep that in mind. And that ends our lesson on class and ID.